And so I recently have stepped down from recruiting, and I'm doing some other functions for Anderson Trucking Service. Thank you, Robbie, for letting me join you.
I'm happy to have you, Joe. It's good to hang out. Yeah, this is fun. Nice, relaxed atmosphere. So I'm kind of waiting for chats to come in. So I see, looks like somebody put in there, where is everyone watching from tonight? That's a great question. There we go. Now they're starting to come in. Hello, Joe. Sound is in and out.
Yep, I got her handled. Thanks, guys.
We're on top of it. And by we mean someone else.
So, Dave, do me a big favor. So, Jonathan, good to see you. Hey, I really appreciate your messages. I'm sorry that you and I did not connect when you were in town last. And so, for everybody who's watching this, later on or whatever the case may be, a lot of you guys know who I am. I'm going to tell you, I'm not going anywhere. I am not fully retiring. There's a little bit of miscommunication that happened there. I'm just taking on a little bit of a reduced role and a reduced time and taking some additional time with my grandkids over the upcoming couple of years. So know that you can always get a hold of me, Robbie, or anybody else that's doing these lives. You need to chat with me about anything. I want you to know my door stays open. So
that's awesome.
Just wanted to be able to call that out real quick. But let us know how the volume's going.
I'm struggling, guys.
Hey, I got to call out Kermit. Well, it's old timers night, he says. North Carolina. Good to see you, Kermit.
Yeah, thank you, Kermit. By the way, how's retirement going? I'm going to probably need to start getting some pointers from you, Kermit. All right, well, good. I'm glad to see we got folks starting to roll in here.
Yeah.
So, Robert, where do you want to start today? You guys, I'm going to tell you, I'm being tested. I'm the guest, not the host that you guys are used to. So, Robbie.
We'll see how this goes.
Okay, it'll be good.
So tonight we got a few talking points, but obviously we're going to be monitoring comments. So please, if you've got questions for either Joe or myself, throw them in the comments. We'll answer them as we go here. So I see Samantha's asking about the volume. So if anybody can answer that, please help. But the first thing I want to talk about is driver pay in the spot market and what's going on with the pay. So as everybody knows, everybody with ATS especially knows that the pay's been phenomenal for a long period of time. And I think you had an update on that, right? Because you said you talked to somebody, you got an update on the spot market and what that looks like.
So listen, one thing I think we all know is that our drivers, we love having you guys coming on here because you guys reinforce it, but if you're going out to work, the money's been as good as we've ever seen it. I will say that the one, I throw it out there, we have seen a little bit of a decrease in the high volume that we were experiencing before. It has not impacted the rates, but a lot of those choices and a lot of that excess volume, it's starting to actually stabilize. It almost wasn't sustainable. But the real good news is that rates are holding. For anybody in the dry van side, we are right at the beginning. We're probably 2, maybe 3 weeks away from the household goods. And anybody who hauls household goods, you guys know what kind of rates and what kind of a surge that gives. So Jeff, our senior vice president of our van division, told me today that no later than the middle of May will we start seeing that freight coming through.
Awesome.
And one other really good point that he brought up to me that's really not on our sheet, but our turnover has been holding as strong as we've ever seen it. We are just not seeing drivers leaving, and the numbers are about as good as I've ever seen them in my 31 plus years here.
And I would agree with that. In recruiting, we're limited. We have X amount of trucks we're going to fill. We're going to keep full. We're not going to just ram as many in as we can and keep filling up trucks that we don't have. And so we've been limited. We've been able to be a little more selective, and that's not always the case. So that tells me as a recruiter that yes, our turnover is down quite a bit. And then just talking to drivers. I talk to drivers all day, every day. Some of them are looking to join ATS. Some of them are with ATS and have been with ATS for a long time. And just the overall satisfaction of drivers that are with ATS is awesome to hear. So yeah, turnover is absolutely down.
Real quick, you guys, also, I really just make sure, all you guys commenting on where you are, we just appreciate you taking the time to, whether you're pulled over, just do it safely. It looks like we got folks from New Orleans to Kansas City and all of that. And Mike, always good to see you on board as well. you got to get my DM Morgan in the interview room.
DeAndre, I will see if Morgan can join us coming up very, very soon. I might have an opening next week, actually. Thomas, good to see you from Texas. So like Joe said, so we see a softening in the market a little bit, but for the van guys right at the beginning of HHG, obviously summertime, farm implement, that sort of stuff is going to be good coming into these future months. So overall, we don't see our drivers' income coming way down. So that's a positive. Next thing is, things that are leading into kind of the turnover staying down and the limit of us being able to bring new drivers in is that truck and parts shortage. Everybody, I'm sure by now is aware of it. It started a year and a half ago, and right now it's not forecast to do anything better by the end of 2022. And I can't believe we're already coming up. We're almost halfway through 2022.
Yeah.
So have you heard anything different than what I just said as far as the future of this truck shortage and part shortage?
So what I am going to say is, so you've been hearing us talking about it, Robbie. I'm sure that you guys have been as well. We have been doing really good at these blogs or these articles that we've been writing. So under Drive, the number 4 ATS, we've got a learning center that's out there. There's a couple that we really wanted to call out there. One of them is the 2022 truck part shortage and what it means for our drivers. It's a really detailed really article that was done by Cassidy. And I'm going to tell you, were you part of that article at all?
I was not part of that one, no.
Okay. So what we do is we get what we call a subject matter expert when we're doing these articles, and this is not about Anderson Trucking Service, just for the record, everybody. This is about the industry. So the one, as we're talking about that, bottom line is it depends upon what part you're talking about.
Yep.
So there are some manufacturers to where there are a lot more resources that are out there to where they've got more, they got more production lines, they've got more facilities. They might have global locations, not just domestic locations. And so there are a number of the part shortages that are starting to finally get back in line. But there are still some of those, especially when you start talking about microchips and things like that. Those are getting a lot tougher. Part shortage is accurate. I was told today is going to be 3 to 4 days before my gearbox arrives. And so, listen, Mike, and you guys, please be commenting. This forum is not for you to be listening to me and Robbie talk. We started this to have basically an open mic. The more questions, the better, because then we're actually responding to not only you, but probably a couple of dozen other drivers that have the exact same questions. But so my son works for a large construction group. I can't, he asked me not to use the name, but let's just say that the equipment is yellow. And the parts that they have to, have an inventory with just the different makes and model, what used to be a 1 to a 2 day wait time, he's saying that it's ranging anywhere between 4 and 7 days.
Yeah, what it all comes down to is years ago, these companies went from having a inventory based, meaning that they have, a dozen of everything on hand at every location, to kind of an on-demand, meaning when they needed it, there was one central location. And the problem is that central location is not keeping up. So to hear Mike say 3 to 4 days for a gearbox, I actually consider you kind of lucky, Mike, in today's world. There's some of the parts, I think you said chips, that they're talking weeks or months or so. And ATS has been out in front of this, ATS leadership and ownership. So they've been exploring options from at the beginning of this all the way through. And has put ATS in a good spot that, if we have, say 1,500 trucks, we want 1,500 trucks running, we're in a position where we can keep 1,500 trucks running regardless of the truck parts shortage. So some of that means is, some of the company trucks might need to be extended a little longer. They're rotating them out as quickly as they can. But even the lease trucks, some of the lease trucks are maybe a little more mileage than what we used to do and what we'd like. But these are all things that help us make sure we keep the same number of trucks on the road and be able to keep servicing all of our customers. So,
Well, and I do want to bring up one thing that kind of correlates. So I was in our orientation class this week, and we had a number of rehires coming back, and I think all of them actually were working with us, went and got their own authority, went and bought their own truck, their own trailer, and they came back simply because of the mass contracts that we have and some priority of being able to get into shops with our our after hour service department, with road service, with flat tires. Just having that bigger stick has allowed they need to be able to have a company backing them that they know that their truck is going to get the priority versus waiting in line. And so I think we had 2 or 3 that had their own authority and decided they just needed to come back to the structure. And Robbie, I think you were even with me, but we talked about this in the last quarter of last year. But 2022 and part of 2023, because of this truck shortage, the bottom line is we would never run a truck over 500,000 miles. And really now, if you've got a functional truck and it's being maintained, we're not going to loosen up on our expectations anymore as far as wanting to have that brand of who ATS is with the high-end equipment, both truck and trailer. But we're going to have to push those limits a little bit. And I think some of the new drivers coming in are actually starting to see that the trucks are offering that's available have maybe 550 to 600,000 miles on them today.
It is a different situation for that reason. Yep. So a couple of questions up here. Let's see. So Samantha asked, does ATS have trucks on order where they arrive when manufacturers complete them? Yes, ATS has future orders. Essentially, the entire industry was told back, and I believe it was October, that all of your orders for 2022, don't expect those to be completely fulfilled until the first quarter of 2023. So what that means is they come rolling in at times, but every truck we ordered, if we wanted 20 in April and 20 in June and 20 in August, they may not be on that time frame. It's going to be on the time frame that they're able to complete them. So.
And I want to add to that, Robbie.
Yeah.
The second big thing that I've been seeing is that when we're getting trucks delivered to us, we are getting the chassis and the truck delivered. But again, when you talk about microchips, accident mitigation, some of the things that we want to have that truck equipped with, we have trucks that we've got out on the side that we can't seat because they're not legally road ready because they are waiting on a part. Yep. But the manufacturer has delivered them to us, but now we're the ones that are holding that asset until that part comes in.
Yeah, absolutely. So Paul Hoover says, I got an issue that needs to be addressed on the maintenance side. So Paul, I know who your recruiter is. Give Jimmy a call. If you can't get a hold of him, not getting answers, call me in the morning. My email, you can go recruiting@atsinc.com, or my email is my name, Robbie, ROBBIESC@atsinc.com.
By the way, Paul, you know who I am. I'm not going anywhere, and you guys have all got my email. You can drop something to me, too, if it's something that's a little bit more detailed. So, Robbie, I have no problem with helping out on that, too.
Yeah, so Henry's very specific question. I'm interested in hauling containers out of Houston. What's the pay like and home time live in Corpus Christi? So, Henry, there's a lot of things that go into that. So, feel free, both of those emails that I gave you, feel free to reach out to me in the morning. I'd love to hear from you. Jim, he was supposed to call me this morning. Paul, you will get a call
Jimmy's
later.
Responding right now.
Oh, okay.
Jimmy's on there.
Oh, there it is. Yep. Call you tomorrow. All right. So good. So it looks like Jimmy and Paul, you guys can connect now. And then there was one more thing that I want to make sure we get to, and this goes back to the Learning Center again. This is another article we did, and it talks about fuel efficiency and what drivers can do. There's 14 things that we put in this article that we believe will help every driver help conserve fuel. And it's things, like if you're a true owner operator, set your truck up so your truck and your trailer are closer together. Obviously, plan your fuel stops. Unfortunately, in today's world, we just kind of met on this earlier. The gas stations the fuel stations are changing their prices so fast that a lot of the apps that drivers are using nowadays aren't up to speed. So it's tough to pre-trip plan. But do that to the best of your ability. Things like obviously air pressure in your tires. That's carry a pressure gauge and bring that with you always. Samantha, did you put a link up there for the Learning Center earlier?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Was it specific to the first article,
It
or?
was the industry update. I can give you guys one that's just for the entire Learning Center.
That's what I like to see. Samantha's going to put up a link to our Learning Center. We are spending a lot of time and effort on educating drivers, and not ATS drivers. This is for the industry. This is to help all drivers make better educated decisions. We feel like drivers that have better educated decisions, they end up staying wherever they go a lot longer. Travelodge in St. Cloud, truck should be ready in the morning. Brian, welcome aboard. I think aboard. So good to see you. Joe, do you have anything to add to the fuel efficiency?
You know what? No. So you guys, listen. There's so many. There's 14 controllable actions, and so I can sit here and read the 14 actions, folks. If you have not taken the time to go to drive the number 4 ATS, open up the Learning Center, and don't just look at what's on the first page. Go down and scroll through. There are so many awesome articles, but every one of these articles, there's one that I'm going to say that I don't think is valuable. And that's basically how to eat in your truck. We tried something differently, and I realized that was probably one that may not bring as much value. But listen, these articles are very well done. Again, every article we write, we try to make sure that they are about whether you're an Anderson driver, a non-Anderson driver, that the content in these articles are to help you as a professional commercial truck driver. So the article that's out there, I would say take the time, because it's almost like when we were talking a while ago, there's one out there regarding APUs and alternative measures that you can take for not using an auxiliary power unit, but things like generators. And Steve Pasick joined us talking about what some of those options are for when you're idling and so forth. Just take the time. One of these times we should actually be giving out some kind of a reward for folks that go on and post a comment about what they learned from an article.
Yep.
I'll let you guys do that for a future time.
I think that's a great idea, and I know you weren't reading the comments, but that comment was perfect, because Christian was just kind of talking about that. How to help company drivers stay cool or warm. The parameters are set wide on the trucks. Thermal window coverings that reflect heat, sun during the summer. Hold in heat during the winter. All good ideas, Christian. And, that article that Joe was talking about will maybe help with that some. And then also, I have no problem taking that recommendation to the people that are above me. 78 full sun. My truck says it's over 90. I have APU and still idling. Samantha.
Hey, and real quick, so that one that kind of talked about the thermal window covers and so forth.
Yep.
Christian, I guess one of my questions are you giving ideas? It looks like you are.
Yeah.
And would you mind responding when time allows? But Sam, that might be a good one to have Cassidy reach out to when they're writing the next article or blog on that, or refining it a little bit. So.
Hey Lars, good to see you. You could join us. I think it's pretty late where you're at there, so thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Good to see you.
Hey Lars, I got people keeping an eye on you. I didn't realize who was all going to be there, but good seeing you on board.
Let's see, nice and sunny here at home, Martin. Heatshield.com, so Samantha put that out there. So thank you for that, Samantha. ATS had splurged on front window curtains.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of things I wish we could splurge on, David. But yeah, at the end of the day, those are all good suggestions. And listen, there's so many options that are out there. Once you guys get in the truck, it's like when somebody goes and buys a new pickup truck or a new vehicle. It's like what are those little things that work for you? And one thing doesn't work for everybody. I think we'd be surprised at how many people wouldn't use those kind of things. So
yep.
But you guys, please keep the comments coming in, because right now we kind of had a goal, Robbie, I think you did, of really covering spot market rates, what the freight levels are right now, the fuel efficiency, and the impacts of the parts.
Yep, those are really the three things. I can't stress enough that Learning Center. I know Samantha put it out there again. Another thing that we've talked about recently, and we kind of hinted towards it, and I don't think we've ever really gotten the true information out there, but is our new program, Fusion. This is an exciting program for ATS. and something that if you are a true owner-operator, whether you own just a tractor or a tractor and trailer, we've got an open market program now where you'll be coming on and essentially running under our DOT number, but you are going to have the flexibility to book your own freight, not just with ATS, but other open load boards. You're going to have the opportunity to work as little or as much as you want. So your home time, your income, your your everything will be completely, fully dependent on you. And we're excited about this. We're just rolling out. We've had some drivers, I believe 4 or 5 internal drivers, been running this program for a few months just to kind of work out the bugs. And everything is working wonderfully for them. The drivers are very successful, very happy. And if that's something that interests you, you're watching this tonight, you own your own truck, definitely reach out to us in recruiting, and we'd love to talk through all the details with you. So, like I said, it's something that's new. We're excited about it, along with the DoD freight that we've been doing. We're still looking for DoD teams. By all means, call us. There's a lot of details to go through, and we'd love to. That's what we do all day long. We'd love to sit and talk to you about it. So,
I want to jump up and run into one other thing. So, so at the end of the day, the stuff about I want to be really clear here. The stuff about the shield protectors, Dave. What I will tell you is that I will drop that idea in front of operations. So I got to be honest with you. In all my time here, you're the only one who's ever brought that up to me. So I will, without a doubt, be glad to put that up into operations and say, hey, would this be something we'd be willing to consider or offer it when drivers are coming on board? So expect a direct reply back from me, or maybe Robbie will do it tomorrow after I reach out. Okay.
So Noah asked, I think he started right about the time we did this last time. When it warms up out there, are you guys firing up the grill? For you, Noah, yes. And we had a lot of fun. We spent 45 minutes to an hour. We cooked out here for drivers that were in class, drivers that were in town for PMs or whatever, and we just had a really good time. We did it on live, so I think maybe we'll do that again if I get the boss's permission. So I did want to go back to David Bragg asked, is that going to be lease operator too? And I'm sure his question was for Fusion. As it stands right now, David, the answer to that is no. You must own the truck at least. If you don't own a trailer, we'll do a trailer rental here depending on what trailer you're looking to pull, whether it be van, flatbed, step deck, RGN. But if you own both, you can bring both on. So,
can I ask a clarifying question?
Yes.
What if I were to lease from a different company that has nothing to do with us?
So I'm glad you brought that up. So what I mean by no to the lease program is no, we won't be doing an internal lease within the Fusion program. So if you're leasing from Lone Star Leasing, Schneider Finance, any outside entity where that is a decent lease and you can get us that lease paperwork ahead of time to make sure that it'll work, we absolutely would take on that truck. So thank you for clarifying.
So if that truck is going to come with you and leave with you, and there's no financial tie to ATS, and the big part of this, I want to make sure that Rob, you said it, but to make sure you're clear, within our leasing program right now, you don't get charged for any kind of trailer rental, and you're constantly swapping out from a flatbed to a single drop to a double drop. This program, you're tied to a trailer, and I believe Lars, you're on, maybe finally fell back asleep, but you can chime up here too. So, but my understanding is that you can change that rental agreement one time, but you're pretty much tied. So if you got a single drop, you're tied to that single drop trailer. And so the mechanics of this, it is only for somebody who truly owns that truck and is going to rent a trailer from us, is how that program is going to be starting out. But it's going to evolve, but for right now, that's where it's going to go.
That's correct, and I want to preface this with I don't know this to be 100%, so I'd have to look at my sheets tomorrow. But if you've got questions about it, call me. So with that preface, I'll tell you that it's my understanding that if you come in and you pull and you rent a step deck, and you do that for 90 days, and you want to switch to a flatbed, you're seeing there's more flatbed freight. They're going to let you switch at 90 days. So That is my understanding, and so don't quote me 100%, but if you've got questions about that, definitely call me in the morning, send me an email, whatever. But yeah, it's an exciting program, and like I said, it's something new. So you talked about we might be tweaking the thing here or there, but as it stands right now, we are all very excited about what this program is going to hold for the future. So y'all freezing every so often for some reason.
Well, you guys, we're getting down to about a minute from
yeah,
being to the end anyway. But hey, Paul, whoever your recruiter is, they'll reach out to you. So yeah, we have somebody that you can talk to about what are the actual specs for when you're buying a truck. And for anybody else listening, if you do own your own truck, whether it's a 4-axle heavy haul truck or it's a 3-axle flatbed or van, we give you all of the specs. We don't want to have you get up to our orientation and find out that your fifth wheel height is not the right setting or that your wheelbase is wrong. So yeah, we've got really good direction for you to make sure that when you're going to talk to a dealer or somebody to lease from, that you know what that truck needs to look like when it gets here. So
yep, absolutely. We've taken pictures, spelled it out line by line. So Joshua asked, how much will the trailer rental be? So Joshua, I don't have those numbers in front of me. I can tell you that it's different for van, flatbed, step deck, RGN. I think they're all different. There's I don't know the exact numbers, so you can absolutely call me in the morning though, or recruiting@atsinc.com. Plus Love sells a set of window curtains, not as good as factory, but they work. Okay, so all good tips. So we're at 5:30 already.
well, so you guys, for me, I don't know when I'm going to get asked to join again. Jimmy Roll Tide. Lars, thanks for saying hi. I was expecting at least one really good challenging question from you while you're sipping wine over in France. And whether I'm supposed to say this or not, the new vice president of recruiting is actually getting married as we speak, and so that's why they're letting me play in the sandbox a little bit. But this man right here is in charge until Lars gets back. But
I'm just trying not to screw too much stuff up.
But on a personal note, especially for our drivers, you guys, I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here in a different capacity, but if there's ever anything, I'd love to have you stop by when you're in the office, if I'm in the office. But thanks for everything that you guys continue to do, driving, supporting, being ambassadors. And for any new drivers that are considering ATS, just want to let you know, a lot of good folks that are active drivers online here for you guys to connect with. So thanks for your time tonight.
Joe, I appreciate you joining us, and this has been fun, kind of reliving the glory days.
Good. Well, appreciate the invite.
Everybody,
if you guys don't ever see me again, we know if that's true or not.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us for another episode of ATS Live. Have a great night.